The sun blazed down on the vast desert as the Israelites stood frozen in fear. They had just escaped from Egypt, leaving behind years of slavery, but now their joy was gone. In front of them lay the Red Sea, a massive body of water impossible to cross. Behind them, Pharaoh's mighty army thundered closer, chariots kicking up clouds of dust. The people panicked. "Moses," they cried, "why did you bring us here to die? We were better off as slaves in Egypt." Moses, their leader, stood tall, his staff in hand. "Do not be afraid," he said, his voice calm and steady. "Stand firm and see the salvation the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see now, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You only need to be still." But deep inside, Moses turned to God in desperation. "What do I do now?" he whispered. God's voice came clear and strong. "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the people to move forward. Raise your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea. I will part the water so the Israelites can walk through on dry ground. I will show the Egyptians that I am the Lord." As Moses lifted his staff over the sea, a fierce wind began to blow. The water trembled and roared as it began to part, rising into two massive walls on either side, leaving a dry path in the middle. The Israelites stared in awe. This was no ordinary wind. This was God's power at work. "Go," Moses shouted. The people hesitated for only a moment before stepping onto the dry seabed. They walked quickly, the walls of water towering above them, the path stretching far into the distance. Behind them, Pharaoh's army reached the shore. Seeing the Israelites crossing, the soldiers charged after them. The sound of chariots and horses echoed between the water walls. When the last of the Israelites reached the other side, Moses turned and stretched his hand back over the sea. The walls of water collapsed with a deafening crash, swallowing Pharaoh's army. The sea returned to its normal state, calm and endless. Not a single Egyptian soldier remained. The Israelites stood on the far shore, staring in awe at the sea that had just saved them. They erupted into cheers and songs of praise. Moses' sister, Miriam, took a tambourine and led the women in dancing and singing. "Sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted. Both horse and driver he has hurled into the sea." The story therefore summarized that the impossible situation were possible with God. It begins with tension. The Israelites are trapped, an army behind them and a sea in front. It's a moment where all seems lost. This captures our attention because we want to know how they'll escape. The story of the Red Sea is more than history. It's a picture of how God can turn the most hopeless situations into triumphs. When we feel trapped by life's challenges, we can remember this. The God who parted the sea is the same God who leads us today. May we all raise above our challenges, worries and fears, peace,